Hello, mathematicians. Thank you for joining me again today. Today, what I want to do is look at something that we'll be looking at in class this week called subtract using compensation. Now, when you compensate, you move things around to make things work. But when you're doing that in math, you have to do it in a balanced way or your answers will not work out the same. And you can see an example of compensation right now on the screen. We're going to do some questions together. We're going to talk about why we move the things the way we do, and hopefully it'll help give you an understanding of how you can use this to solve a subtraction question. Now, in our videos from here on out, we are going to be using some subtraction terminology. I want to make sure we all know what these mean, and these are the big three we're going to use. Minuend, which is the bigger number in a subtraction question. Subtrahend, which is the smaller number. It's what you're taking away. It's what you're subtracting. And difference. That's the answer. And that is the difference between these two numbers, which is why it's the answer. So if you hear me say minuend, subtrahend, or difference, that's the reason why. Because those are the mathematical terms for those numbers, okay? And I'll try to use both bigger number and minuend so that we don't get completely confused until we know those names and those words by heart. All right, so without waiting any longer, let's go ahead and get started because I do want to do several examples for you and show you different ways that you can use compensation. So I'm going to show you two ways using addition to compensate and two ways using subtraction to compensate. So I'm going to do this same question, 71 minus 17. I'm going to show you two different ways you can solve this question using compensation. Both ways are correct. So you get to choose. And by the end of the lesson today, you'll actually have 4 different ways to compensate, and all 4 are correct. You need to pick the most efficient strategy, what's going to be the best choice for the question you have. So our first one we're going to do is 71 minus 17. Now that's a difficult one to do in our head. So what we need to do is find a way to make the numbers work. And when you compensate, what you're going to do is you're going to add some to the numbers to make it work. Let me show you how this works. So we're going to change 17 into 20 by adding 3. Because it's a whole lot easier to subtract 20 than it is 17 because that's just 2 tens. If you remember our hundreds chart, we're just dropping down 2 rows because that's 2 tens. But here's the thing, you just can't add it once because then it makes the numbers all off. You have to keep the difference the same. So if I add 3 here, I also have to add 3 here as well. This is one way to compensate. Now, by moving both of these, the difference between those two numbers is still the same because I increased them both. So, and now it's an easier number to subtract. 74 minus 20, if I'm at my numbers chart and I'm going up 2 tens, I'm going to go from 74 to 64. One more 10 goes to 54. I bet you said that. And if you did, the answer was correct. So 71 minus 17 is 54. Because you changed both these numbers by the same amount, it keeps the answer the same. It keeps the difference the same. So again, we added 3 to the subtrahend, we added 3 to the minuend, and the difference would be the same because we did the same amount. Now, there's another way to use addition. And I'm going to leave the first way on the screen so you can see how they work similarly to find the same answer. And again, how they're both correct ways to use it. So the other way, again, we're going to add 3 to the subtrahend, to the smaller number, because again, subtracting by 20 is easier than subtracting by 17. And it was real easy to get from 17 to 20. So we just added 3 there. So we go ahead and subtract, again, 71 minus 20. Think about your hundreds chart. We're going to go up 2 jumps, right? What's 61? One more 10. 51. That's correct. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, hey, you didn't add the 3 here. But wait, I'm still going to add the 3. I'm going to add it to the answer. it works, but it still works. And 51 plus 3 is 54 because I just have to go up 3, 51, 52, 53, 54. So it keeps it the same. So both these ways work for subtraction using compensation if I'm going to use addition as my strategy. Now the reason I use addition on these because I want to get to a 10 because subtracting by 10s is super easy, or it's a lot easier than subtracting by numbers that aren't 10s. And so what I want to do is get to the closest 10. And if I look at this number, 17 is closer to 20 than it is to 10. So that's why I added 3. So if I would have gone down to 10, I would have had to subtract 7. That's a bigger number. I want to make it easy. So that's why I use that. Now, let's look at another one. Now, the other way I used addition to compensate, this time I'm going to use subtraction. Let me show you how it works. So I'm going to take away 2 from 12 because I'm taking it down to 10. Again, when we're using compensation, we're trying to get to the closest 10s. And the closest 10 to 12 is 10. So I'm going to subtract 2. And just like when I was doing addition, I'm going to do it to both numbers. So I'm going to subtract 2 from 59. And 59 minus 2 is 57. That's just counting backwards 2 times. We can do that either in our head or on our fingers. Fingers are fine to use. 58, 57. Just counting backwards. But now it's easy to subtract. Again, think about our hundreds chart. We go from 57, we go up 1. Did you get 47? You should have. And 59 minus 12 is 47. Again, this is the same way with addition, except we subtracted from both sides. As long as you're doing the same, you do it twice, it works. And it makes the numbers, it keeps the difference the same. Now again, think about the second way for addition. We're doing the same thing again now. So I'm going to take away 2 from 12 again because I'm trying to get to a 10. And 12 is closer to 10 than 20, so I'm going to use that. So I'm going to take away 2 from 12 and get 10. Now I'm going to subtract 59 minus 10. Now again, hundreds chart, step above 1, take away 10, what is it? 49. That's correct. And again, you're thinking, you didn't take away 2 twice. I'm going to still. So now I'm going to take away 2 from 49. Again, I can use my 2 fingers. Go from 49, count backwards twice. What comes before 49? 48, and then 47. And that is what you should have gotten. So that means that 59 minus 12 is 47. Again, by using compensation, what I'm doing is I'm moving numbers around by the same amount to keep things equal to find an easier way to solve a problem. And I know we've used lots of different ways to solve. Let's do a couple of more. Well, we'll do a couple more and just see how it works. Let's do 2 more addition, and if we have time, we might do 2 subtraction. We'll see how much time we have left. So again, 62 minus 26. The next 26 is closer to 30 than to 20. How much do I have to add to 26 to get to 30? Can you count? 27, 28, 29, 30. I have to add 4. And I'm going to add 4 to both numbers. Again, compensation. I have to do it once. I have to do it twice. That keeps it even. 66 minus 30. Starting 66, we're going to do 3 jumps up. 66, then 56, 46, 36. So since 66 minus 30 is 36, 62 minus 26 is the same thing because I did it to both numbers. Now again, let's try it with our with the other way. Again, I'm still going to use 4 because 26 getting to 30 is really close. And I'm going to subtract 62 minus 30. So again, just make our jumps. 62 minus 30, we go up 1, 52, go up 2, 42, go up 10 more, 32. And that's going to be 32. But I still have to add the 4. Where do I add it? Do you remember? The difference. I'm going to add it to the answer. So I'm going to add 32 plus 4, and I'm going to get 36. So 62 minus 26 equals 36. Okay, last two, and then we're done. I want to make sure you see some good examples to make sure you can do this on your own. 48 minus 23. Now 23, of course, is closer to 20 than 30. So I'm going to use subtraction. How many do I take away from 23 to get to 20? Look at the ones place. It's a 3. So I'm going to take away 3. And 23 minus 3 is 20. Now again, I'm going to take away 3 from the subtrahend. I'm also going to take it away from the minuend, and that turns 48 into 45. 45, take away 20. I'm getting my hundredths chart in my head again. I'm going to go up twice because 20 is 2 tens. So 45 minus 10, 35. 10 more, 25. So 45 minus 20 is 25. So 48 minus 23 is also 25. Last one. I'm still going to subtract 3 because it gets me closer to 20. 48. I'm going to subtract 20 from. That's 2 tens. So let's go up twice. 48. We have what? 38. 10 more. 28. Very good. And I'm going to take, since I took away 3 here, I'm going to take away 3 here. We subtract 3 from 28. Hold up 3 fingers if you need to. We start at 28 and we go 27, 26, 25. So 48 minus 23 is still 25. Guys, thank you for staying with me through a longer lesson than I normally do, but that is how we subtract using compensation. Mathematicians, thank you for spending some time with me today. Can't wait to see you next time.